Hello, welcome to Play PS. I'm going to show you my latest game pickups in 2024. So I don't know whether I shared these games or not, but anyway, let's go through them. So the golden rule with my PlayStation 5 collection is games that I only want to play. Mostly they're obviously got to be good games. However, I did pick up Skull Island, Rise of Kong for PlayStation 5. Now this is probably right up there as probably the top 5, top 10 worst PlayStation 5 games to be released. However, I did enjoy playing this game. There's sometimes not all bad games are as bad as what people say. Sometimes you got to give it a go, and sometimes they're that bad they got their own charm, and they probably eventually become instant classics. I could see myself playing this game over and over again, so a little bit of replay value for me. So this one will stay in my collection. This one only just arrived a couple of days ago, but I got Raiden 4. So if you like your shoot 'em ups, this game's pretty awesome. It was pretty cheap at JB Hi-Fi for $28, and I paid about $2 postage because there wasn't one available in my local area. But one of those things I'll just swoop online and pick it up. So one that I'd like to sink a little bit more time is Like a Dragon Infinity Wealth. I probably prefer Like a Dragon, funny enough, a little bit more over this, but it's still a pretty cool game. I need to sink some more time, but it's pretty cool to see Hawaii, sort of like a big level of Hawaii, instead of being like in Tokyo, Japan. So pretty cool. It's still got its charm. One that I did enjoy is Air Twister. So this is a limited release of 500 copies. This is number 292. This is by Yu Suzuki, who is a Sega legend. He's made so many arcade classics from the 80s and 90s, like Virtua Fighter, Outrun, Space Harrier. This is quite similar to Space Harrier. He's put out so many others, Shenmue as well, to say the least. But Air Twister, pretty similar to Space Harrier. There's some trophies I don't agree with. Anything that's timed based, like play the game 50 times between midnight and 6 a.m. It's like, I'm a working class guy, like, you know, I'm not going to be up at 3 a.m. playing video games. It's silly. However, I'm up at 5 a.m. getting ready for work, so sometimes, yeah, just play a game for 10 minutes and it sort of counts, but those type of trophies are just silly. All for the unemployed. One for the PlayStation 4, Hot Shot Racing. This is probably one of the more overrated games on the internet today. It's not a bad game, but I think most gamers agree with me. It's only a game that you play about 10-15% trophies and you move on. There is dedicated gamers that want to complete everything. However, yes, the frame rates are really good. Like, I really like the frame rates, and yes, it does remind me of Yu Suzuki's classic Virtua Racing, but it doesn't have the same charm as Virtua Racing. It's okay. It's a okay pick up and play, 10, 15, half an hour, and then you just want to move on to another game. It's okay. It's like not technically bad or flawed or anything, but and last but not least, what is it? Front Mission First remake. So I led to believe that this is on PlayStation 1, so they've done a remake, and I actually enjoyed it. I've put about 20 to 30 hours so far. I need to sink more hours into it, but it's like a turn-based style game with robots, of course, and you're trying to blow each other up, and it's actually quite fun. And last but not least, this is not a pickup, but I just want to have a shout out because in a couple of weeks time, The Crew, it's going to be done. Ubisoft is going to cut the servers, which will make this game completely useless unless they put out a patch which can have an offline mode. Some of the trophies I don't like because you need to connect with other people, hence why it's called The Crew. The Crew is joining up with other players. Yeah, there's some trophies that's going to be a little bit hard to get within the last 2 weeks, and I've got some work schedules, all that type of stuff. So in the background, I've got I need to keep activating this, otherwise it'll boot me out of the game if you don't touch it after 10 or 15 minutes. I've got a rubber band around the throttle. If I get 8,000 kilometers on the odo of this thing, that's a trophy pop. So hopefully that will get me about 80% trophies. I'll be satisfied with that. So quite a good game. I've put over 100 hours this year alone, and I'm a little bit burned out, but The Crew, it's actually a really cool game. Maybe later in the year I'll play the second one. It's a much younger game, so it might have a couple of years left before they might cut the server, so hopefully the trophies are forgivable. God, yeah, it's a really good game, but some of the trophies I'm just thinking now, like the locations, like, you know, like there's over a couple of hundred locations, and that's a trophy pop. Yeah, there's a few far-fetched trophies, I'll tell you, but it's hard to think off the top of my head. But yeah, it's a really cool game. Check it out, guys, if you do have it before it expires at the end of 31st of March 24. Alright, that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Actually, sorry, one more thing. I did promise to talk about this thing in my last video, so I will make another video. I need a little bit more time installing games, experimentation, so I will talk about the Polymega. So far, I am really enjoying it, so this is a cool system. I did make a video, in truth, but I experimented with a shotgun mic and the audio was absolutely horrible. So it recorded not only, I think, audio off the camera, but audio off the shotgun mic, and they combined in all the peak levels. It was just, yeah, an absolute vibrating mess. But anyway, I'll talk about this at another time. I will promise you that. So I'm still installing games now. So I've installed about 40 Saturn games, about 10 odd PS1 games. Working pretty good. Andretti Racing has an issue when you pause the game. Sorry, Andretti Racing on the Saturn. When you pause the game, you unpause it, the game plays up. And also I did pick up a SSD, 1TB, and I'll explain more in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.